Guys, it's that Panda guy, and I'm here again with another video, and today we're going to be looking at SafeMe on Discord, okay? And we're going to be going through his messages here. I have another video, and I think I'm actually going to post it after this one. I would have merged the two together, but if I do that and I use my editor, it's going to make like the screen much smaller on YouTube, so I'd rather just do this in two videos. And honestly, since SafeMe wanted to start this drama, it doesn't matter too much to me because I can just kind of milk this a little bit. Sorry, guys, I know some people were waiting for my like guide videos, but SafeMe is paying rent this month, all right? So I actually translated what he said and I had to put it in multiple parts because like Google freaking whatever is like super weird. But I translated it, I put it on this notepad so I can read it out to you guys because he put it in Russian, right? And he basically says, "Hi all, I will briefly describe the situation so that everybody can understand." I'm going to basically break down everything and just tell him why he's wrong. Thing is, I know that SafeMe doesn't. He won't change his mind, right? There's no way to change this guy's mind. I've told this guy in 100 million ways how he's wrong, how they basically came in our region bullying us, right? But I don't think he cares. Don't think he wants to listen. And some people are just gonna be like that, and they'll kind of just sit on whatever thought process. I mean, and it's so weird because you got basically the majority of the game kind of telling him that he's wrong and he just won't listen, right? But we'll kind of go through this. So he says Cassandra flew to, I guess region 1, right? And it was her mistake. Instead of communicating with her and explaining what we have, maybe this is just translator. I don't know if it's all messed up. There are also players who need heroes. They immediately put a debuff on her and began to bully her in the region chat. What is this guy talking about? We never even talked in region chat about Cassandra until SafeMe started this whole ordeal. We put the debuff on her and we basically left it at that. And I don't think really anything came of it until they reached out to us and started causing problems and being problematic. Like, these guys are insane, and they're acting like we bullied her by putting this debuff on her. But the fact that she even came to region 1 to steal first place, which, mind you, one that takes, top. And I actually want to say this because I think some people had a misconception. I didn't compete for top commander. I got like rank 60 or something, right? I think some people thought that I was mad that she stole the hero from me. I wasn't competing in the top commander. We just do this by principle, right? I didn't do this for any other reason than, for principle. We don't want people coming to our region and stealing top commander. But, the fact that she won is stealing the, 200 relics from somebody, plus the one hero that she's taking, which, people are going to say it's just one hero, but, you only get 15 heroes, and we lose probably a hero or two from migrators every TC or every other TC because there are migrators who try to come in and snipe heroes, and it just is how it is, right? But we debuff them to kind of discourage this type of thing, and this is what I want to do from here on because I just don't really like this happening. I understand that this is also a pretty big problem around the game, and honestly, this has been a really big problem in general. I know like all whale alliances generally do this, and it's just like super kind of sucky, and there wouldn't even be like a big deal like this if I didn't shine the spotlight on it being an issue in my region, right? Because this happens every single day, and this happens to our region. This happens to any region that really isn't a whale region. They kind of just get suppressed and they get their heroes taken, right? And this is also why I think there's so many people who understand where we're kind of coming from. I think a lot of, presidents also kind of understand where we're coming from, and people just understand the perspective of this. And it is a little bit weird that he doesn't understand, given that he has his own region. And if we went to his region and took top commander heroes, they would probably be burning us right away. Like, there's a big disconnect here, but we're going to keep going through here. That is, in fact, the region itself began to escalate the situation, which is not true. We gave her the debuff and we just left it at that, and then they escalated it by threatening, right? And then he said, then after a conversation with the leader of one of the alliances in Zone 3, I actually want to say this, SafeMe didn't message me. He messaged another leader in the region. And, you can say this is kind of just whatever, but one, I'm the president, right? I'm the one who put the debuff on her. He could have messaged me, but he messages another leader in the region. Mind you, this guy doesn't even have he can't even remove the debuff himself because he doesn't have like a buffer role, right? I know that the person who removed the debuff, I think, was one of my members because I have it on one of my R4s or something like that. And they removed the debuff because I think this guy told them to remove it, but nobody told me anything. Like I said, I put the debuff on her. Originally, he should have honestly reached out to me if he really wanted to resolve this like that. And just overall, this was kind of handled poorly, I feel like, on his part. Not to mention, when he reached out, not only did he not reach out to me and he just reached out to the other leader, he had already been like threatening, right? So you're already escalating the situation yourself by reaching out and threatening, my alliance, the region in general, like saying that you'd make this a dead region, etc. This is like insanity, and I don't understand why he's taking this kind of stance, And yeah, I guess someone said that they would remove the debuff. To be fair, like I wasn't like, nobody told me anything. Like I said, he never messaged me, so how would I even know about this promise or anything? Like, this is like really stupid. I feel like petty. Because Archipelago Raid was coming up, and he wanted the debuff removed for Archipelago Raid. And honestly, by the time Archipelago Raid started, Top Commander was already over. So realistically, she could have migrated if she wanted the debuff removed, or they could have been more civil when reaching out. Because honestly, his very threatening approach, turned us off, and it turned me off for sure, because this kind of put me in a hostile mood or whatever. After which he, I guess I returned the debuff, which, yeah, I don't deny that. I 100% return that debuff. Sorry, that was like my Discord thing I have set up. That is another provocation from the region. Not really a provocation. This is our region. We put the debuff on her. I put the debuff on her. We don't want people coming and taking top commander heroes. I don't want my players quitting because people think that they're entitled to our top commander heroes. But they basically said the next day, Pandy began distributing personal screenshots of personal correspondence. Yeah, this is you threatening the region, so I'm trying to get help and support if these guys invade. So obviously I do, distribute these screenshots, and I do feel a little bit bad because one of the leaders had sent that to me, and it got back to save me, and it wasn't intentional, but it kind of happened, and it is what it is. But either way, I was trying to get support to make sure that we would have some help if they did invade the region, which he was kind of threatening, and he wanted to get in zone 3 and kick us out of the region. So, yeah. Next, I told them that if you're not ready for any cooperation after Archipelago Raid, he said this before that, right? Not next, he said that. He said that before the screenshots were even distributed, that he would, fly over, and I guess he'd kind of attack us. Let me remind you, Pandy is a YouTube blogger, and the main thing for him is content. Therefore, there could be no talk of concessions, discussions, etc. While I do agree that I am a YouTuber, right? I do my videos and stuff. I would never make a decision that's going to put my region in a bad spot simply because I want a video. I never invited Cassandra here. We never wanted her here or anything. It's not like we started this by inviting her here. She simply came here, which started the whole problem, started the whole ordeal. And that is on you guys. If you guys wanted to come for Top Commander, should have reached out. That's really on you guys. Didn't want to remove the debuff because you were rude. You were threatening our region, and also this is our region in general. You are not entitled to nothing here. We have our own structure here. But he's basically saying that because I'm a YouTuber that I would refuse to talk to him, I guess because I wanted him to invade for content, which is one of the stupidest theories I've ever heard. But whatever. Okay, we're going to keep going. The main task of the student blogger is to increase his views due to the situation. I mean, to be fair, I am milking this, right? Like, I'm definitely milking this for views now that he's already started this, but this isn't because of... I didn't make the decisions I made because I wanted the views, right? I wouldn't have even made a video if he never started threatening us or anything like that, right? If he had been more polite when reaching out, probably never would have been a video, right? Then he says someone writes about racism, but he is really dark-skinned, and many Russians call blacks, Negroes. And I actually want to mention this, right? While I do agree, and I actually was told by some, and some actually said no, but I do think that the Negro thing is actually kind of normal. And I actually don't, so the racism thing doesn't offend me exactly. It's more like the thing that he is racist, right? And you got to understand how he approached this. Not only did he not speak in Russian, just saying Negroes, he dropped the hard R. He said it in English. He avoided the censor, right? He literally intentionally avoided so it didn't get censored. He talks about white slaves because I guess I'm the president and he's saying people are under me. He talks about me teaching people how to pick potatoes, which to me sounds extremely racist, and that seemed like he was kind of implying something. If you guys know, you know, right? So I don't think that he can really avoid this. And like what he's saying, he came off extremely racist, and how he kept saying it, right? Because like, there was absolutely no reason for him to even start doing that, being like, oh, this guy's a blah, 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 right, over and over and over. Like, it just seemed excessive, and like he was intentionally trying to be racist and get under our skin or just be insulting, right? So in general, I cannot take this of the Russian thing, right? Like, you can't use that as a really valid excuse to me. Like, this was definitely intentionally racist to me, right? This was all accompanied by constant bullying in the region's chat towards me and Cassandra, so somewhere I might have gone a little too far. I thing is, the bullying part, I can agree with, because a lot of people have actually come in and made accounts to insult him, and that is a bit toxic. But actually, this hadn't been as prevalent until the actual racism, where people started making accounts and being like, "Oh, safe me's racist, safe me," all this type of stuff. Right? They made these account names, so a lot of this was after the fact. And the quote unquote bullying that he's talking about are people just telling him that he's in the wrong. They're getting really upset, and then he's gonna call Region 1 toxic because he invaded the region and started bullying us, right? So it's like, as a result of his bullying, people got rude to him, and now he's going to use that as a reason to insinuate that, I guess, like, the region is toxic and that he's the victim, which is one of the, like, just really stupid to me, really bad argument. But he's basically saying also the first region prime began to play with names of its players in the alliance, like Safe Me, right? I actually want to say that this is a lie. When their region, when they invaded our region, right away, there were people making names to insult our region, right? You're invading our region, having accounts, and these guys are the first people to have accounts doing this. Mind you, my alliance isn't the one making these accounts. We did actually accept a few of these players, and some of those, I can agree, maybe it was excessive to accept these players, but honestly, I don't feel completely bad given everything this dude's done. But they had accounts like Panda's gay, Xano's gay, because that's one of the guys who was arguing with Safe Me. They were doing that for like Hands too. They were just making a lot of these weird names and stuff to just kind of insult us. And then he's saying that we started it, which is really stupid. A lot of these, like I said, a lot of these accounts were just made after the fact of the whole racism thing. So I don't really understand this argument very well. But he's saying possible twink accounts for Panda or other thing, whatever. He's saying like people in the alliance made these accounts. This is just a lie, right? Like, people outside the region were making accounts. I'm sure people can actually agree. I know there were some people on Discord who were actually chatting who had made some accounts in Region 1. There were so many freaking accounts made. It was insane. But we're going to head back to Discord and look at what he was saying. Okay, so, after all this, we basically go on, and I was like, yeah, nobody bullied her in the region. And I also said that Safe Me cried because he did. He was crying about the videos and stuff. He also says somewhere in here that the videos are going to be the reason, or he's saying, oh, because you guys called me racist, I'm going to snipe Top Commander, which I feel like is a lie, because he had already insinuated that they'd come take over the region before I even posted a video, right? They insinuated that they were going to make the region a dead region. They insinuated that they were going to set up for Top Commander, because that's actually what I had been informed of by someone else, right? So this feels like a complete lie, and he's just basically trying to manipulate the narrative to be like, oh, because you're making these videos, now I'm going to do this. Like, no, you were going to do this. Now you're going to try to use it as justification for why you're doing it, which is one of the stupidest things ever, because he's really just upset that I put a spotlight on his behavior, because nobody forced you to be racist, nobody forced you to act this way, and you behaved like this. I made a video on it because at the end of the day, I am actually a content creator, right? I do these videos, and if you're going to come to my region making, big drama situation, I'm going to make a video on it. That just generally is how it is, I don't think that's hard to understand. I don't think anybody would not understand that as someone who would make videos, and even people who don't make videos should understand that. Just makes sense, right? Like, I just make videos. Oh yeah, but I say here, you're crying that you got bullied in our region. He's like, oh, I don't cry about it, but to me, generally he's crying about all this type of stuff, and he's saying Panda tricked, I put the bots in Prime, and it doesn't make sense, because like I said, they actually had accounts coming to their alliance first that were making fun of us. So you're coming in our region, invading our region, have accounts that are made after us to insult us in our region, and then you're crying that while you're invading our region, you're getting in, a lot of people arguing with you, whatever the case. It's just such petty, stupid stuff to try to justify your actions. And he says here, but do you, Pandy, understand what will be with your region. I guess he's saying like what will happen as a result, you know, because he's saying, oh, you can say I'm racist every day, but I'm still gonna be here, you know. And yeah, you were, even if I didn't say you were racist every day, you were still gonna sit in my region trying to snipe top commander heroes. You're just being like entitled, you know. You're acting like some sort of victim, and almost everybody can agree that you're not a victim, you know. And generally people who don't agree, I feel like, are in like his sort of circle and stuff. And you know, I mean, whatever, it just is how it is. He's saying you can make one more provocation. I never provoked you, man. You provoked us, and then we kind of responded in sort. He said, you know that not only you play in the region, obviously I know that, otherwise I would not have put the debuff on her, because I would be the only person ranking in top commander. I'd be like, okay, well, if you get first this one time, it doesn't matter to me because I still get 100 free fragments, right? Like I said, ranked 60th, so I got like one fragment, you know. But he says, you understand that after you repeat I am racist, your players won't get any rewards in the region. He's basically saying that, oh, I'm going to sit in Region 1 and snipe top commander heroes, but you would already been insinuating and threatening that from the start before any videos even went up. So why are you trying to act like because you got called out for being racist, that this is why you're going to justify? I don't know. This guy just like running in circles, right? And I asked so many questions here, by the way, that he's going to avoid. Like, he's professional at avoiding questions. And he said, one question, are you a liar or not? I said, no, but you lie plenty, because he has lied a lot. And I feel like he's trying to misconstrue my words, because he says, show us a screenshot where not you make decision to rebuff on Cassandra after Keen removed it. I don't know why he's asked this, because I never said that I didn't make the decision. Like, I 100% put that debuff on Cassandra. I admit that over and over and over. I 100% put that on her. And nobody actually had, like I said, messaged me about the debuff being removed. So I put it back on her. Simple as that. Well, I actually had gotten a message a few days earlier, but it was not from SafeMe, and I had actually just been like, nope, like this is kind of upsetting, right? And like I said, you know, if SafeMe wants to reach out, you know, especially is like his position, he should be reaching out to me, who is the president, who gave her the debuff, you know, and all this type of stuff. And he's just messaging another like leader in the region to try to get the debuff removed. And he's getting someone who's in my alliance, mind you, who has the like buffer role to remove the debuff, right? So like you literally just went around an indirect way to remove the debuff without trying to talk to me, and then you're upset that the debuff was put back on her, right? Like, how would I even know that you talked with this guy if you're not even going to reach out to me? And I don't know where he gets this, like that I said it wasn't my decision. I had 100% said that it was my decision to put the debuff back on her, but I had talked to my region because I was trying to talk with, I think it was Danny, about mediating the situation. And then I talked in a leadership chat, and they had all agreed that we were going to keep the debuff on her because this is our region and we want to stand on our business, you know? And here he goes, you know, who put the debuff on her after Keen removed it? I did, right? And then he's like, oh, that's enough, right? Like, dude, you didn't message me. You didn't message me. And he doesn't respond about that at all. I say, like, you started it all. You provoked us. You know, you're messaging random leaders in the region. And I was like, you know, I was willing to remove it. The leader said I should remove it, you know? Like, in general, I feel like he was just trying to paint this narrative. He also kept lying and saying that I threatened Cassandra. He showed some screenshots, which I'll actually do a different video on that because I have a different video for that. But basically, how am I supposed to threaten somebody who's 500 million? I put the debuff on her simply because I wanted her out of the region. And I'm basically just saying, you know, own up to your mistake. He's like, you can't you can't threat. All you can do is bully like you do here. Nobody bullied her. If anything, her initial visit to the region, wanting to take from it without requesting at all, is bullying. You know, that is bullying. You're suppressing my region. You're stealing from the players. You're potentially making players within my region quit because you're suppressing them, you know, and this type of stuff constantly happening is discouraging to people. Any president can agree with that. I'm sure they get a lot of messages among their leaders or just people in their region who are just upset that you have whales coming to your region and stealing stuff when you're saving up all this time, you know, it's just like, what? And he's basically like, oh, we'll take all the fragments from Region 1. I mean, he was already threatening that before he invaded. I had already been told information on this before the fact. So, like, dude, it's pointless to argue this with him. He's like, oh, you don't even speak to Cassandra. And I'm like, dude, she didn't even message me. She's in our region, you know? And he's like, oh, when did it begin? And I'm like, dude, when she came to our region. And I'm basically asking him, what about your whale bullying my region? Since she came here and bullied our region, and I guess he's trying to be like, oh, when did she start bullying your region though? Yeah, the fact that she even migrated here is bullying the region. Save me. Come on, save me. Come on, man. And then he says bully begins after Keen gave his word. And like I said, you should have messaged me, save me. Don't message somebody else and then go about some indirect route, right? I woke up to this whole situation, right? He didn't even message me. And he's trying to be like, oh, well, Keen did this. Dude, I didn't even know you messaged, well, I knew he messaged Keen, but right, like, no, Keen hadn't told me, right? And I don't want any harassment going to Keen, by the way. He's a really cool dude. But, like, I just feel like safeme is really overreacting here. And this is actually his fault for going about the like way he did and messaging who he did. And then he's like complaining here that I started to make screenshots and put it here. He's saying, you stupid little man who can share every private chat. I do not care, honestly. I'm a pretty public, vocal person. I think anybody who knows me knows that I am. The fact that I do make videos should insinuate that fact. And the fact that you are threatening to invade my region already invokes a response out of me. Like I said, my channel obviously is, pretty, I would say, relatively important to me, but I'm not going to endanger my whole region for content. But, if you are going to invade and you're going to do all this stuff, I will make content out of it. That's simply how it is. And he's basically just complaining that I made private chats public, but I'm like, dude, don't escalate something if you don't want people to see how you're acting. He's just mad that I put a spotlight on this whole situation. I know I'm kind of pandering on the same topic, but I wanted to just walk through this whole chat. But he's like, I'm off, kid. And he's like, and to me, this looked like a vague threat, but he said, man, if we see next champ, hope you can say same words. Here, you big warrior. And I'm like, what in the world, bro? Like, this seemed like a vague threat to me, honestly. Like, I'm gonna be honest, maybe I'm looking too much into this, but him saying that seemed like a vague threat to me. You guys tell me if you think that's like a vague threat, and we basically go on here to talk about it just a little bit. And I'm like, dude, he dodged any questions I asked him, and I'm actually going to show you guys some screenshots real quick so you can actually confirm this is safeme, because I don't want people being like, oh, well, maybe that's just a fake. And I'll show you guys that this is for real, the safeme we know. So I got sent this, and I had made sure that I could share this, by the way. But he basically said to someone, because it was, he was messaging someone I'm familiar with. I made a message on Discord with full situation, and your president like toxic men with nonstop words. I really don't know why you support him. Like, people are supporting me because you're toxic, dude. And how is me responding to you and telling you how you're wrong toxic in itself, And you didn't make a message with the full situation. You made it in a misconstrued manner that painted me as some bad guy for simply wanting to protect my region from invaders like you. And he said a little bit more here. I'm sure TC is important for you, basically insinuating, oh, so if you want to support your president, top commander, obviously isn't important to you. But if you support him, whatever, right? But either way, I just think that this guy is a bit toxic. I think he's like really gone overboard. I think he's just kind of put himself in a situation where his ego's holding him here, because he can't stand the thought of him being in the wrong here. And even if he knows he's wrong, he doesn't want to admit that. And if he backs out, he's also kind of losing in every regard. So I just don't see really a good way for safeme to kind of resolve this without just apologizing and being like, yeah, I really overreacted. Sorry, I kind of had a tantrum, and just leaving, right? And that could really resolve the situation. But since he wants to act like this, he wants to behave like a baby, I'm not going to pull punches. I'm going to milk this dude in a few videos, So I do plan to just make a few videos on this, have some fun with it. And this is actually perfect because right now I'm waiting on my Ethernet box because my computer has been acting up and I'm not able to make my normal videos like I normally do. So this is kind of giving me content for the week. So it does work out in a sort of way, although I wish this never actually happened because, it just sucks, right? It just sucks to have your region getting invaded like this. But I do appreciate you guys, honestly, for watching as always. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. I know you guys are loving this drama. So yeah, it's always fun for people when you're not in the actual situation yourself to enjoy the drama. But for me, I somewhat enjoy it because I know like this dude's just acting like a fool, and generally I feel like the community's behind us, which is really nice to know. But overall, this situation is insane. You guys let me know what you guys think, though. I do appreciate you guys for watching as always. Hope you guys did enjoy the video, and I will see you guys in the next one, and that is about it. Peace out.